Hello, this is my technical video for my database backend. The purpose of this database was to provide Dubu Martial Arts with an extra help desk feature to their website. Here is the code that I created for this. So here you can clearly see that there is the form for the help desk feature, which includes the an input for the caller name, an input for the help desk operator, an input for the time of the call, input for caller notes, input for query types, resolved time, the resolution date, and the description of the resolution. I did some data validation by adding some labels that show a tick or a cross whether the input is valid or not. You can see this by looking at this code. Here is the output design. Here's the user interface. So you can clearly see on the website there's a button for the support for the help desk feature. Here is where the help desk operator puts the caller name, the operator name, the time of the call, call notes, query type, time of the query resolved, date of the query resolved, and the resolution description. Here is the database in Serialist. So you can see that I have a table for courses, customer, membership, staff, and ticket. A table for membership that covers cost, membership number, and the membership type. Staff that covers their email, name, password, phone number, and speciality. The ticket, the resolution description, the ticket duration, the ticket ID, the ticket notes, ticket date, ticket operator, and the ticket time. The course time, martial arts, the primary teacher, and the information for the customer, so their age, their course, their email, full name, last name, membership type, password, phone number, and ticket ID. Here you can see in my document I have talked about the data validation. So I've covered when the user enters the caller's name, it will validate whether the text box for the caller name is empty or invalid. It verifies the user has inputted a string and nothing else. So it validates whether the correct data type has been inputted. Another data validation has been used is on the name of the operator. This will validate whether the text box is empty or invalid. It checks the data type to see if it's a string, and it also validates whether the member of staff name has been entered correctly. So for instance, if someone was to put in their random name, it wouldn't take it because they have to be a member of staff. Another one is the time of the call. It will validate whether the data type inputted by the user is valid, and it will also validate whether the value inputted is within working hours of the day and whether it's been inputted correctly too. Lastly, it also validates the data for the membership number. It validates whether the membership number matches with the caller's name and what the user has inputted. Here the system and user requirements. The system requires the caller name, the help desk operator's name, time of call, customer membership number, the operating and browser system, query type, query resolution, and query duration. The user requires the customer ID number, the enrolled courses, account details, and updates. So linking back to my database on Serialist, I've made an ERD diagram where you can see where all of the data links together. So the customer information will link to the customer table, the staff information will link to the staff table, the membership information will link to the membership table, the ticket information will link to the ticket table, and the course information will link to the course table. Here are some output designs. And here are some user designs. So I've used a range of colors and I've used a range of inputs and buttons. Like I showed you before, here are some more database designs. So I was here, you can see that I was designing the customer table. Here you can see that I did some testing. You can see that this screenshot obviously was a fail, and that some of the names were spelled incorrectly, so I had to go back and correct that spelling. Coming down, you can see the interface designs. You can see that there's, on the first one where I tested, one of the inputs is missing. So I went back after the testing, I went back to develop that input and added it back in. So here's some screenshots of me developing the data validation. So here's the error label and the check label. So the error label will show when the data inputted by the user is incorrect, and it will show up. The check label will show up when the user has inputted the data correctly. Here's some of the code as well. So here you can see that the field is required, and that if it's not been inputted, the error label will show up. Otherwise, the check label will show up. I implemented some of jQuery into the relational database. Here's a screenshot to show that. So here you can see that the name is Joe. The status is the instructor, the karate instructor. The email is here. Password is 123, and the username is Joe Ridden 123. So here I did a test plan. So this will also go with the testing. I described the testing environment. It will be controlled in a suitable test environment, so within an office. Also, I have tested this system for extreme data and erroneous data. So here's the test plan. So I've done all kinds of activities such as caller identification, existing customer retrieval, unique query number generation, notes and descriptions, query type selection, and previous query retrieval. Thank you for listening.
What one's that, the technical?